I don't know if that looks familiar. That's the header for this brochure. And it was the top of an 8-page glossy brochure the city distributed throughout the island in mid-2008. Its goal was to convince everyone not that familiar with what was going on at Honolulu Hale that the term rail was the same as steel wheels on steel rails. It was a piece of propaganda aimed at voter support in November that year, and it successfully gained a 53-47% margin of victory. But are steel wheels the only rail? This information can be found in the Federal Transit Administration website glossary. On the slide, NTD stands for the National Transit Database. The point is that the city's effort in 2008 was deliberately deceptive and attempted to arbitrarily eliminate other technologies accepted by the FTA as rail. There are several forms of rail and the city knew it. However, I am not sure the voters were aware how they were being manipulated. In fact, some people locally believe that FTA will not support automated guideway or monorail systems, so let me disprove that.
So what happened was we as a citizenry said, do something. So we passed rail in '08. And what rail was in '08 was they said steel on steel is going to be it, like it, take it, or leave it. I concur with some that believe that Maglev, alternative technologies, the EVA Neighborhood Board, by the way, supported rubber tire and concrete and wanted emergency service, front door service looked at in this alternative analysis. So the EVA Beach Neighborhood Board did not even adopt or support steel on steel. We would like something else deliberated.
With jobs, I know former Mayor Hanneman spent a lot of time talking about jobs. He's going to spend a lot more time talking about jobs out here next year in his campaign. But this is about commuting and tax paying. We need the best commuter system we can get at the cheapest price, and that's not what we're doing.
If we would merely get the uninsured motorists off the road, they've said that UH West Oahu will take 10 to 15% off the roads going east into UH Manoa, okay, for some $700 million to build UH West Oahu. The rail at $5.2 billion takes off 1 to 3%. Rail fully operational to UH Manoa, not the 20-mile segment, the 30, the full boat, 30-mile segment, 1 to 3%. If we got the uninsured motorists off the road, they're saying that's anywhere from 15 to 18% overnight, and it can be done with $50,000 in software, where you share the insurance provider, notifies the Department of Motor Vehicles, they notify HPD, they can scan license. What has this state done to address the uninsured motorists? So for $50,000, we can get some 10, 15, 20% off the road overnight, no construction costs, no headaches, yeah, done.
If we do away with this, if we don't want this steel wheel system, how do we, the community, make change to get a monorail or a maglev if we have to? What do we do? You tell us what we do.
As a taxpayer and as a commuter, I would want the best transportation available. Give us that option. And you know, I favored rail for many years, but I have never heard till tonight that we have such good options. And if we have to rethink this to make it right, because it seems that the council every day hearing the proposals, these guys they can't make the cars, this can't be done, that can be done. It's, you know, the budget, and the mayor comes in and all that stuff. But I'll say this, if our community, the first district, can put our heads together, we do have a David can take on Goliath. Yes. Thank you.
My opinion, one person's opinion, is the bus system beats rail. Is that what it is? Yes. The bus system beats rail. Why spend all that money building a rail system when we can improve something that's already got the structure?
They exclaimed that the bus was bad. You ready for this? The bus was bad because you need a driver. Jobs. You'd actually have to create jobs. The bus hires people. Got people on the bench, right? Now all of a sudden they flip-flopped because they would not allow the bus. And they say, steel on steel beats everything else because it's driverless. That was part of the analysis, is that shame on the bus for having someone there at the helm. Guess what? When you get on the monorail or maglev or steel on steel, light rail, heavy rail, don't you want a security? Don't you want someone there at the helm anyway, whether they're driving that train or not? Wouldn't you like to just be able to yell help and somebody's there of an authority to help you out? We have 108 vacancies for HPD on the island of Oahu. They've told all of us that there will be rail transit police. So if you have a parking garage, I mentioned 2 of them, one at KAPOLEI, DR Horton's Ho'opili, and the other one for UH West Oahu. Will there be rapid transit police and parking security? That's cost money. Those are jobs. With the bus, you don't need that. You won't need any of those jobs. So this whole thing is a twist. It's a twist on us as the taxpayer, and it's been a twist on this alternative analysis. I could ramble on this, but I had to focus on this, is that they said that the bus was no good because you got somebody driving it, and that's going to create and cost undue expense because heavy rail is driverless, and we won't need to expend those funds. What are we all hearing about now? Thank goodness steel on steel creates jobs. The more jobs you create, the better.
With the two stalls plus the accident, took 1 hour to get into town today. So pretty much, Mr. Genario, I'm pretty much in favor of Maglev because of the better system.
Councilman's talking about a vote in 2012 and a petition process to get it started. I believe that's a little late. I think the mayor and the council have to both get on board. The mayor maybe has to stop drinking the Kool-Aid that he's been fed from Department of Transportation Services and take a good hard look at this thing, and then the council, without the mayor and the council, we can't do anything. I've spent a lot of time at that council testifying and a lot of time in meetings and scoping meetings and so forth, and if you can't get their cooperation, nothing's going to happen. And I would bet that there's a very good chance that an anti-rail mayor could kill this project if he's elected in 2012.
And I think it's great that the youth are involved because they're going to have to be paying for this long after we're gone. And I agree with what you say, born and raised here. I don't want the rail either, but I live in Makakilo and I was in the traffic with the gentleman this morning, and there has to be something that we can do. Why, sir, Tom, why are they pushing this steel on steel? Is it because they're getting paid by all the people who are going to build it? Is that what the thing is? Is it that simple? And then this is Kayla.
We don't like to use the word corruption
well, all night that I've been sitting here, I've been hearing about how people have been talking about how we don't have the money, which we absolutely don't, how we don't have the land, and we don't. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was watching the news and I heard about a couple of stations that are going to be built up, and they are going to take place of homes and shops. Do we really expect people to move out of their homes just so that we can have less traffic? And I heard that they were going to get offered a certain amount of money to buy another house, and if they wanted more, they would have to sue people. And it's not even fair. They've been living there for so long. Why should they have to move for this new project?
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, I was here when we put H1 in, and even today you can see what it's done to neighborhoods in Makiki and Kaimuki areas. They were just cut right in half, and people were displaced because their houses had to be removed because they were in the way. And now we have an H1 system which goes from Hawaii, from Kahala, all the way out to where we live. However, a lot of people lost their homes over that. If we have Maglev monorail, that doesn't have to happen. I wouldn't mind if it went right over the top of my house because they're quiet. It's quieter than a bus.